Hi, my name is Elizabeth Griffin, and I'm an indie author from South Philly. I'm here to talk to you today briefly about the 8 parts of speech and how they play an important role in fiction writing. Anytime you pick up a best-selling novel, it begins with some form of the 8 parts of speech, and it ends with some form of the 8 parts of speech. So I think it is imperative that we understand each of these parts and that we use them to the best of our writing ability. So I'm going to list them, even though I'm sure you know all of them or most of them. They are noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, conjunction, interjection, and preposition. And each of these parts of speech are significant in storytelling. A noun names a person, place, thing, or idea. And I'll give you an example of this. A person, Liz. Place, Philadelphia. Thing, car. Idea, democracy. It's simple. The next one is pronoun. And a pronoun takes the place of a noun. So instead of saying Liz, I'll say she. It's also he and it. Those take places of nouns. The next will be an adjective. An adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. And that would be the girl is beautiful, the boy is smart, the professor is intelligent. It describes the noun or the pronoun. Next would be an verb. A verb is an action word. And when you're introduced to verbs in elementary school, they usually introduce them to you in the form of infinitives. And an infinitive begins with to. So to run, to walk, to skip, to fly, to think, to love, to dream. That would be an infinitive. And that's part of a verb. They also have being verbs. And the infinitive of a being verb would be to be. So to be smart, to be kind, to be gentle. It's to be. Is a being verb, and are is a being verb. Next would be adverbs. And adverbs describe both verbs and adjectives. And an example of this is run slowly. Slowly describes how you run. Walk quickly. Quickly describes how you walk. And then run very slowly. Very describes very describes the adverb. It tells how slowly they moved or they ran. Next would be conjunctions. And conjunctions are words that connect other words, phrases, and clauses. So an example of a conjunction would be and, but, or. This or that is an example. This and that is an example. Not this but that is an example of a conjunction. Next are interjections. Interjections are words that express emotion. Hey, wow, look, hooray. And they're usually followed by an exclamation point. If the emotion isn't that strong, then you would use a comma instead of an exclamation point. And the last part of speech would be the preposition. A preposition is a word that acts as a bridge between a noun, which you may find at the end of the sentence, and the rest of the sentence. So an example of this would be, and I'm going to leave a blank for the preposition. I love reading blank. That's where the preposition would be, my car. So it would be, I love reading in my car. In would be a preposition. Another example would be, I ride my bike blank, where the preposition would be the lake. So I would say, I ride my bike alongside the lake. Alongside is a preposition. I'll give you some examples of prepositions to keep in your notes in case you don't recall them all. In, on, near, by, from. Those are prepositions. Prepositions, there are 3 types. There's prepositions that deal with place, there's prepositions that deal with time, and there are prepositions that deal with movement. So with movement, it would be through, towards, to, into, across, along. They deal with movement. Time would be before, during, after. And then place, and I mentioned some of these before, would be on, over, at, in, around, under, below, behind, and above. I think once you understand the 8 parts of speech and how they function, and you implement them in your writing, you can dissect your sentence. Say a sentence doesn't make sense, you can start to dissect it by looking at the different 8 parts of speech. I'm not going to talk about sentences, and there are 3 different types of sentences in this video. I'll address that later. I hope this has been helpful. Check me out on Instagram. It's Griffin Gore, or Facebook Elizabeth Griffin Gore, or Elizabeth Griffin. I have 3 Facebook accounts, and you can also find me on Twitter at the Scrub Series. I hope this has been helpful. Until I talk to you again, bye bye.